Hey guys, it's me again. I know it's been a while since I posted. It's been kind of a crazy time. This is my last sketchbook. I finished this back in June, actually, and I'm actually almost done with my next sketchbook. But I thought I'd get into this again and start walking people through my sketchbooks. I haven't done a whole lot with making videos because still not sure I want to put the time in it, but again, these videos are mostly for me to remember where I've come from and look at where I'm going with sketchbook wise. So this is the cover of my sketchbook. It's got squishy decoupage cream on it. I think it's technically silicone gel, and I've made these clay branches for these clay people that I made to sit in. They are Lynn, Anne, and Kryn. And then I put fruit and stars in the tree and everything. Alright, and this is sketched down the side. Okay, so getting started, this is a sketch. Well, these are pictures that I drew when I first got the sketchbook in 2019. I always try to draw a picture on the first sketchbook I get on a sketchbook as soon as I get it so that I can look at where I started and where I ended by flipping a few pages. These are the main characters that I always draw. So this is Lynn. She's the main character of my third book. This is Kryn, main character of my second book, and Anne, the main character of my first book. I'm actually in the process of rewriting her story right now, and if you can tell, she's a little bit of a different color. She's actually mixed, but I didn't have the markers to express it at the time. This is Oren. Actually, he's changed a lot recently, but I love his outfit. And this is Oxyan, and I don't know if you can tell or not, but they all have bubble heads. They're very round heads, very short faces, and this is something that I have recently fixed in my drawings. Now their faces might be too long. So starting off, we have the Bubble Queen. This was 2020. So this is Leda, actually, not any of the characters on the other page. This has nothing to do with her story. It's just nice to draw someone who has such a dark story having fun with something. So there's that. I forget the inspiration behind this. It was a significant inspiration, but basically it's a gray world and there's no color in it except for this girl's hair that comes down and fills a river with color. And over here we have a picture that I traced from a different page because I liked it uncolored, but I also like it colored. And here are Valentine's Day pictures from last year. It's the same picture over and over. I did not like her face. This is Lynn. I didn't like Lynn's face. It was too fish-eyed and it didn't set well with me. So I redrew it again and I like their faces better. Lynn is supposed to have a rounder face, but you know, it's just too round and fish-eyed. And I like this one way better. Okay, here's what I call a costume page. So I have a bunch of things that I just didn't have backgrounds for, so I slapped more than one of them on a page. This is based on the, what is it called? The strawberry and cream mushroom. Got snail lady, just a dress, and starfish mermaid. So here's that picture from the other page except colored in, and it has a background. This is Siofra, the girl, and the boy's name is Briar, and they have kind of a rocky relationship, and thorns are a big symbol in their story, so always thorns whenever I have them together, and like I said, they don't have a very good relationship. This is a Scrawler Box Challenge. I forget what it was, but she's a water girl and she has fish in her hair, and that is what's important. Over here we have a girl with a bonsai tree One of my friends actually started growing bonsai trees, so this inspired me. And here we have a picture of Anne with her husband Kaiden and her young son Ian. The people are okay. Their faces are too round, so they don't look as old as they should be, but this background is pretty good for what I normally do for backgrounds. So, case in point, we have Lynn, and she's a shepherdess, so she has a sheep here, but she is fish-eyed and creepy, so we're going to go over here to an isometric room. I got into drawing these in this sketchbook. I haven't, which is kind of funny, I haven't really drawn them since this sketchbook, but these are Anne's rooms in Gela, and Gela is one of the cities that they go to. Here we have some experiments. Drawing with waffles does a lot of sketching with a pink pencil, so I thought I'd try it, and I don't like it. It's too sketchy. I don't like the sketchy style. It looks good when she does it, but it just... Now what I do like is the shading on Darren's chest here, which is all done with pencil, but other than that, I don't like it myself. It looks good for waffles. Lynn and Darren as mermaids. Darren has gotten himself in a soda bottle, and he looks like he's having a good time, so at least he's happy. Here we have Anne sitting on a stool. This was a draw with me video with waffles, so I don't have much to say about it. Here's a girl and a jellyfish. She can breathe because there are plants growing inside the jellyfish, and these fish aren't remotely saltwater surviving fish, but you know, whatever. Here's more fish. I love drawing fish. Next to people, fish are probably my favorite things to draw, and largely because I feel like I do a good job with them. I cannot draw horses or cats or dogs to save my life. I don't like the girl though. And here's a picture that I copied, I feel like this part from somewhere, and then I made up the rest, and it's okay. Here we have the mini merms, and they are exploring the world on the back of a snail. He's a very nice snail for carrying them. And here's more snails. Apparently I went through a snail phase, and each of these snails has a little environment. So this is a fish ocean environment, and here we have more of a jungle environment inside the snail shell. I think it'd be really cool if snails could do that in real life, although then they wouldn't have a place to live, so Here's another costume page. I have an elf in a dress that I feel like I copied from somewhere, but I might not have, and I don't remember. This is from Cells at Work because I just finished that series. I love that series. I drew this because when I was driving, I saw a hill come down and come up, and it made a figure eight. Like the land made a figure eight, and I could not represent that. So we'll go over here to my shark mermaid warrior. And now we'll just move on. So here's Anne's wardrobe. I'm expanding the world a little bit of Iridion. So Anne got a wardrobe. She's a queen, so she can afford extra clothes. This is Lynn and Brigantes. Brigantes is an elf, but he is also Lynn's godfather and uncle. So they have a strange relationship, but they love each other. This was an experiment with watercolor markers, and I hate it. Here, it's just a basic picture, but I used washi tape to fill in the background, and that's something that I started doing a lot. Although I will say, if you tend to draw curly hair, it's not a good option, unless you have a lot of time on your hands. This is another washi tape picture, and as you can see, most of it has much straighter lines because they are much easier to cut out. And some Tokidoki Mermicorns because why not? Here's a mermaid looking at a cat, or a cat looking at a mermaid. Picture Who knows? The original idea was to have them on a ship, but no ship would have a windowsill in front of the porthole, so over here, that's just some experiments. I love this kind of like pill-shaped background, so you'll see that a few times. Here's two mermaid besties talking. Here's another experiment page. Not much to say about it. Here's a mini Anne. She's little. Here's Lynn. Actually, I like that outfit on her. She's a peasant. She has no reason to dress up that fancy. But, you know, this is Siofra. Although she also is a much younger Siofra. Siofra is probably my oldest OC. These are with Scrawlrpox pastels, and this one right here is the only one I sort of like, and I don't even like that one. So, moving on. Here, I felt like I was drawing too many girls, so I drew some boys. Give the boys some love. They are all Oxyan. This is Keelik. That's Oxyan. This is Darren. More Oxyan. Randos. This is Lawrence, or Law. He is Siofra's husband, and I didn't draw him to justice here. Or on the other page. And just more experiments. This is based on a book that I read. I forget the title of the book, but the one girl was cursed to have snakes fall out of her mouth every time she spoke, and the other had jewels fall out of her mouth when she spoke. And I know Neil Gaiman did something very similar with his Cinderella rewrite. I forget what it's called. And I'm not going to remember now. Here's a picture of Oxyan and Lynn. Lynn and Oxyan both lost their parents pretty young, so he's raised her from a really young age. This is another background attempt. I hate it though. I copied it from a picture, and I don't really enjoy drawing backgrounds to begin with, but when you don't enjoy drawing a background and then you can't do it justice, it's just not fun. This is a girl in an umbrella lighting paper lanterns. I got the idea from somewhere. I don't know where. I like this one. It just looks so fun, especially with a goldfish on top, but not necessarily feasible. This is a picture of the gardens from Generalife in Alhambra Palace in Granada, Spain. I lived in Spain for a while, and that was one of my favorite places to go. The stairwells had fountains in them, so the water would come down, and where these little spirals are would be a little fountain, and I drew it in there. I didn't do it justice. Don't draw, or don't go and see it yourself. It's the most beautiful place in the world. This is Rosemary. Her face is creepy, but I feel like the rest is a good job. More experiments. So we have a winged cloak, which is one of Lynn's more constant accessories currently. She uses it to fly. Here's Lynn and Darren in the Desert Vo and Vi clothes from Breath of the Wild. And Lynn in a more Iridian style dress. Another experiment page. I try not to waste paper in my sketchbooks so I don't have to buy them too often, so that's why I have crowded pages if I don't have a full drawing. Let's see. I was experimenting with a holiday in Iridian where they would wear masks, but I've kind of nixed it. This is Aisling from Secret of Kells. Over here's another Scrawlrbox challenge. It was Imaginarium, I think. It's okay. I prefer the uncolored one, Here's a picture of Lynn. I don't have anything else to say about it. Some of those animals, they were kind of important to her, but I've since changed it up. Down here we have the same picture twice. I sometimes, if I really like the pen but I want to color it, I copy it over instead of just coloring the original. It's Darren with his dragon, of course Lynn, and then the Forest of Druiden, which is where most of the story takes place. This is another costume page. So we have the Jolteon doll from Delightful, which if you've never seen her draw with me, she has the most wonderful drawing style, and I wish I could draw like that. Rainbow hair. This girl, I'm indifferent towards her, but I love her little hair clips. She has like hair clips that have candy in them. And this is a goblin shark knight. Goblin sharks are my favorite sea creatures. They are actually pink in real life, so there are such things as pink sharks. And I think that's awesome. This was Mermaid. I started Mermaid and I got to about day 15 and the prompts didn't inspire me very much. But here are two little girls, a mermaid girl and a regular girl, having a tea party. This is my favorite one. It is the sunset. So the sun fell asleep in this mermaid's hair, and it's changing the color of her hair. Also, I love the negative of the picture. Over here we have a sea queen on her My Little Pony seahorse, and a Jedi mermaid. I don't really like Star Wars, and you can probably tell by how I drew it. Okay, so this is Mermaid. I guess it was music or music notes. This is tidal wave, so there's a mermaid looking down from the top of the tidal wave. We're going to ignore that she would be dead if that tidal wave collapsed with her right there. Still expanding the holiday. I kind of based the outfits off of Santa Lucia in Sweden because I love the candle crowns, and then adding masks I thought would be cool, but they're kind of just creepy and I gave up. We'll revisit later. Here's another mermaid, Serene, I think. Here's a villainess. She broke a bottle, and I know it's a very simple picture, but I love her face. Mermaid astronaut, because why not? Here's a mermaid stuck in a bottle. Here's a mermaid defending its little dolphin friend from a shark. Another one stuck in a bottle, and this one's Deity. And this is a shrimp. At one point I got into tangle art, and it's not something I get into very often because I like it, but I don't. This one turned out good though. This is the spine for my book cover, and this is my actual book cover, so the background would be black and then the rest would be gold and green to represent the story, and then each other story would have a similar thing, but it would be bronze or silver. Here's another isometric house. This is where I started to get sick of them. It's like a medieval house with a modern layout. Medieval houses did not have hallways, so that's how you know it has a modern layout. Here I'm trying to differentiate between people and give them different faces, so I drew Anne twice. I'm trying to give her her own look separate from Lynn and Kryn. Lynn is much more of a child than the other characters. I don't know who she is, but I wanted to draw that hair and that dress, so there's that. Here's another isometric. And it's based on the house from Breath of the Wild. I love that house. I would live in that house if it were real. I was inspired by hairpins. That's all I have to say about that. This is Siofra in a bath. Nikki lady. So here's a picture of Lynn and Darren, and I wish I had done something else with the background because I feel like this frame is beautiful. I did okay with them. The swing is way too big, but the background just detracts from it. And this is the last page. It's the liar princess and the blind prince. So she basically is a werewolf and she blinded him, but she's trying to save him. So here are all of the things that are important to them. They collect flowers because the prince loves flowers. She turns into a werewolf. Books are important. I haven't played the game in forever. I got to the last level and got tired of it. And these are the pictures from the scrawler boxes that I got. So there's my sketchbook. The next one will be out soon if you choose to watch it. That one's even longer. It's got, I think, 130 pages in it. And honestly, I'm getting sick of drawing in it. I got an ELO sketchbook for my next one, and I really want to draw in that, so I might rip out the last 2 pages because it would bother me to leave those in there blank. It really would. But anyway, have a good day, guys. Thanks for watching if you watched. And I don't know, go fill your own sketchbook and let me see. Bye.